गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनम्। गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता। भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकीपुत्रगीतमेको देवो देवकीपुत्र एव। एको मन्त्रस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा। गीतायाः पुस्तकं यत्र यत्र पाठः प्रवर्तते तत्र सर्वाणि तीर्थानि प्रयागादीनि तत्र वै। यत्र गीताविचारश्च पठनं पाठनं श्रुतं तत्र अहं निश्चितं पृथ्वीं निवसामि सदैव हि। चिदानन्देन कृष्णेन प्रोक्ता स्वमुखतोऽर्जुन वेदत्रयी परानन्दा तत्त्वार्थज्ञानसंयुता। अष्टादश जपेन्नित्यं नरो निश्चलमानसः ज्ञानसिद्धिं स लभते ततो याति परं पदम्। गीतार्थं ध्यायते नित्यं कृत्वा कर्माणि भूरिशः जीवन्मुक्तः स विज्ञेयो देहान्ते परमं पदम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। गोविन्दं गोकुलानन्दं गोपालं गोपीवल्लभं गोवर्धनोद्धरं धीरं तं वन्दे गोमतीप्रियम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। नारायणं निराकारं नरवीरं नरोत्तमं नृसिंहं नागनाथं च तं वन्दे नरकान्तकम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। पीताम्बरं पद्मनाभं पद्माक्षं पुरुषोत्तमं पवित्रं परमानन्दं तं वन्दे परमेश्वरम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। राघवं रामचन्द्रं च रावणारिं रमापतिं राजीवलोचनं रामं तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। वामनं विश्वरूपं च वासुदेवं च विठलं विश्वेश्वरं विभुं व्यासं तं वन्दे वेदवल्लभम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। दामोदरं दिव्यसिंहं दयालुं दीननायकं दैत्यारिं देवदेवेशं तं वन्दे देवकीसुतम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। मुरारिं माधवं मत्स्यं मुकुन्दं मुष्टिमर्दनं मुञ्जकेशं महाबाहुं तं वन्दे मधुसूदनम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। केशवं कमलाकान्तं कामेशं कौस्तुभप्रियं कौमोदकीधरं कृष्णं तं वन्दे कौरवान्तकम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। भूधरं भुवनानन्दं भूतेशं भूतनायकं भावनैकं भुजङ्गेशं तं वन्दे भवनाशनम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। जनार्दनं जगन्नाथं जगज्जाड्यविनाशकं जामदग्न्यं परञ्ज्योतिः तं वन्दे जलजायिनम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। चतुर्भुजं चिदानन्दं मल्लचाणूरमर्दनं चराचरगतं देवं तं वन्दे चक्रपाणिनम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। श्रियःकरं श्रियोनाथं श्रीधरं श्रीवरप्रदं श्रीवत्सलधरं सौम्यं तं वन्दे श्रीसुरेश्वरम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। योगीश्वरं यज्ञपतिं यशोदानन्ददायकं यमुनाजलकल्लोलं तं वन्दे यदुनायकम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। शिलाग्रामशिलाशधं शङ्खचक्रोपशोभितं सुरासुरैः सदा सेव्यं तं वन्दे साधुवल्लभम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। त्रिविक्रमं तपोमूर्तिं त्रिविधाघौगानाशनं त्रिस्थलं तीर्थराजेन्द्रं तं वन्दे तुलसीप्रियम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। अनन्तम् आदिपुरुषम् अच्युतं च वरप्रदम् आनन्दं च सदानन्दं तं वन्दे चाखनाशनम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। लिङ्गयाधृतभूभारं लोकसत्त्वैकवन्दितं लोकेश्वरं च श्रीकान्तं तं वन्दे लक्ष्मणप्रियम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। हरिं च हरिणाक्षं च हरिनाथं हरप्रियं हलायुधसहायं च तं वन्दे हनुमत्पतिम्। ॐ भगवते वासुदेवाय नमः। हरिनामकृता माला पवित्रा पापनाशिनी बलिराजेन्द्रेण च उक्ता कंठे धार्या प्रयत्नतः। अस्तु। यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। अस्तु। So, we are starting the fifth book of this series. So there are some new members in the group. So what we'll be doing is, I will have each of the members read a little bit of the content given in the book, and we will discuss the Karaka relations and the Padantas also. Like the Padavibhaga and the Padantas, like Akaranta, the Padavishleshana. Also, we will be doing Padaparishayam. So that in the first book, for the first 2 adhyayas or 3 adhyayas, it was given in the book. But the last adhyaya, it was not given, the fourth one. So we were doing that. We will continue doing that because many people felt it was helpful for them because they have to actually think the Padantas. Many times we take it while we are reading what is already given, it is easy for us to simply relate to it. But when we have to think, that is when we really think. And so it will help us memorize or understand the Padantas, the Padaparishaya. So the morph analysis, Padavishleshana we will be doing. So Padavibhaga, Padavishleshana, and then we'll read the Padartha given in the book and the Anvaya given in the book. So here they haven't given the Akanksha Paddhati like how it was given in the previous book. So instead of that, some questions are given, and that also it is mentioned that only for the fifth and the sixth chapters only these prashna are given. So other chapters it is not given, which means the Anvaya Rachana, we have to do it on our own. The questions given here will help us write the Anvaya Rachana. So without leaving directly for 2 adhyayas, these prashnas, we can use these questions to help us write the Anvaya Rachana. Okay, but irrespective of that, we'll do it on our own. We have been practicing it in the fourth book, so we'll continue the same, identifying the Kriya Padam and then asking questions like how we were introduced in the same Paddhati, we will go. And the Karaka relations we'll discuss. So the Sandhi and Samasa, what is given in the book, we'll simply read. We'll not discuss it in detail. Why? Because we have already done that in Geetha Pravesha book 1, the Sandhi and Samasa. So we'll not spend too much time on that. If anybody has any question regarding how that Sandhi is occurring or how that Samasa is happening, we can always discuss it later. Like you can always in the group, in the WhatsApp group, we can discuss. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So before starting this, let us see in brief what was mentioned in the previous adhyaya. What was where we ended it. So how did it end? So Krishna was telling Arjuna that we have to attain this kind of jnanam which destroys the samshayam. And how does it destroy the samshayam? The jnana khadgena. So jnana khadgena eva samshayam nashayitva nishkama karma achara. So we have to do the nishkama karma and obtain the jnanam by destroying the samshayams. So the samshayams, many times we have, that is where most of us are stuck. We have so many questions. We have so much of clarity, ambiguity, absence of clarity. So that is the reason why a lot of explanation is given regarding the samshayam and how to how to get rid of this samshaya. Okay, so in the 4th chapter, the last shloka talks about how we have to destroy the samshayam with the jnana khatgam. And what kind of jnanam? The Paramatma jnanam. Okay, and how can we do that? With the sadhana. So it cannot be achieved overnight. We have to do continuous sadhana. And what are the steps involved in this sadhana? Can one directly obtain the Paramatma jnanam? No. So how to go about it? That is where we stopped. How to go about it has been already told in many steps. But again, when Paramatma says that the jnanam can be obtained by destroying the samshaya, that is what you need to do. So here, in the in the 5th chapter, the first shloka, Sanyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogancha shamsasi yachreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. So here he is asking again, Sanyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogancha shamsasi yachreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. So again he is asking, you are on one side you are saying to leave all the karmas and follow the jnana marga, and on another side you are saying yogam, you have to do yoga, means the karma yogam, you have to follow the path of karma yoga. So you tell me again, which of these two should I follow? You decide and tell me, I will simply follow that. The same question was already asked by Arjuna, I think, in the beginning of 3rd adhyaya, right? The same question he asked. So why is he asking this again? After all this, now Arjuna is not a regular person. He has performed so many things. One second. So here, the reason why Arjuna again asks the same question is because he is really confused. And more than saying confused, he is the kind of person who is very knowledgeable. He has so much of association with the rishis, and he has done a lot of sadhana already. So he feels that he is already ready for the jnana marga. But then Krishna constantly keeps saying, you have to do your duties. That is what is your duty as a kshatriya and all this. So as much as he wants to go into the jnana marga and he thinks that he is ready for it, he is also at the same time perplexed by the fact that Krishna constantly is reminding him to do his duties, to practice karma yoga without any raga dvesha, without any kind of emotions, without any phalapeksha. So he's not sure what to do. So that is the samshayam that he has. So in the previous chapter, towards the end, a little bit about the samshayam is also explained. So when we have samshayam, we have to ask the guru that we are taking refuge in. We have to ask any kind of doubts that we have, no matter how many times it takes for us to understand with clarity. We have to ask and only then proceed. We don't have to hesitate to ask the questions as many times as is needed. So that is what we learned in the last adhyaya, towards the end of the last adhyaya. So he is asking again. So only when one can see the Paramatma through this Tattva Jnanam, only then all the samshayas will be removed. So Arjuna is also doing abhyasa. He is right there with the Paramatma. So why is he still having samshayas? So that also reflects in a way that sometimes we will have that moments that we think that we are there, like the Tattva Jnana. We already have understood everything. We know what is what. There will be moments like that for many people, even for rishis, but not completely. So if one has to completely be in that state where they are ready for the Jnana Marga, already Paramatma has told us how a person should be before entering the Jnana Marga. In the 3rd chapter, the 17th shloka says, Yastvatmarati reva syat atma triptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtah tasya karyam na vidyate. So only that kind of person who is completely happy with his own atma, the qualities of that atmaratihi, atmatriptihi, and atmasantustah we have already discussed when we were discussing that shloka. So he who is completely contented with his own self, without seeking anything from the outside world, only, always, constantly, only that kind of person is ready for the Jnana Marga. But we are still, even if we have small phases of such things where we think that we are content with ourselves, that is not enough. We have to be in that state forever and be completely happy. So we should not in any way be, come back to this other state, or any kind of karmas we shouldn't be doing. And we all will be doing, right? Some kind of karmas we are constantly doing. It need not be the physical karmas, even the manasika, like we are thinking of this, we are thinking of that. Those are also considered as karmas. So any kind of such distraction, as long as it is there, we are not ready for Jnana Marga. That we have to remember constantly. And for such people, Karma Marga is the only way. By practicing Satkarma Charana, only then we can make our Manas Shuddhi. And only by purifying our Manas, we can go into the next step. And those next steps will be discussed shortly. Okay. So here Arjuna asks this. So then after that, just going back again, just like a summary of the first 4 chapters. So here Arjuna, in the first chapter, he is sad about killing all his people, about his people. He always thinks these are, mama janaha, my uncles, my teachers, my relatives, my cousins. So that thing is there. So he is unable to go forward with his duty, because he is thinking that whatever he is doing will have a, he's personifying his actions. Like he is thinking that he is the one who is doing. So by killing them, he will accrue sin. So how can this be the right thing to do? So that is the confusion that he had in the first chapter. So in the second chapter, what Krishna tells is, do not be confused. You just go ahead and do your duty. And he also talks about Atma. Okay, so you are not killing anyone. Atma cannot be killed, cannot be destroyed, nothing can be done to Atma. So it is not Atma that you are killing. That is there forever. It is only the Sharira that drops. And the Sharira that drops for a particular person is because of various reasons. So the Atma is still there. So you are not killing anybody. So you don't have to worry about that. So you go ahead and, without any confusion, you go ahead and do your duty. That he says in this Klaibyam Masma Gamak Partha. So in that shlokam, he tells, without any confusion, go ahead and do your duty. And about performing the duties, how to perform the duties, the qualities of a Sthita Prajnaha is also described here. Okay, so here again, the reason why Arjuna asks about Sthita Prajnaha also shows that he's leaning towards the Jnana Marga. He's leaning towards the Jnana Marga. So he asks, so maybe I already have the qualities of a Sthita Prajna. So, why cannot I follow the Jnana Marga? Why are you insisting that I follow the Karma Marga? So the confusion is, this kind of confusion, though it is depicted that it is with Arjuna, we have to apply it for ourselves. Many times we feel this, we come across, we think, we always make a resolution saying that, oh, from here onwards, I should not do this, whatever that is. And we try and not do it for several months also sometimes. So after we are able to have that thing under control, we think that we have already achieved that state. But then there will be one day where we fall back and commit that same mistake, whatever it is. like feeling sad, say for example, or feeling overexcited over things that we are doing, thinking it is our own accomplishment. So such things also we have to have a balance. So we might practice, and with some practice we are able to follow that. But right when we think that we are almost there, oh, now I am there, I am a sthita prajna, that is when we will come back and fall and realize that after all we have not completely achieved. So why this is being constantly told is we should not be discouraged. We are practicing, we are doing some abhyasa. So while we are doing the abhyasa, there will be parts where we are successful some days, and some days we come back a little in the path. So that should not discourage us from, oh, I can never do this. So giving up, that giving up should not happen. That is the reason why this is being emphasized so much. Why? Because it is not easy. So it is very common for a human to fail many times while during this abhyasa. Knowing that, it will not discourage us. If we think with little abhyasa we can achieve, if we think in that way, many of us will be disappointed, because that is not easy to start with. That we have to understand. But many times what people think is once they start doing something, they should be able to achieve it very soon. Otherwise, they feel disappointed or discouraged. But if they understand that this is almost impossible to achieve, then no matter how many how many times they fall, they won't be discouraged to try again. So that continuous abhyasa should be there. So for that also, what Krishna is doing is, unless we know that, unless we know what jnana margam is, unless we know how a person who is ready for jnana marga should be, unless we know that, we don't understand where we are. So that is the reason why Krishna explains in chapter 3 about the karma marga, and also about the jnana marga. And if jnana marga is the goal, then who will qualify for that? And they should what kind of karmas they should do to enter into the jnana marga, and all that. So here, in the third chapter, mostly that is what is discussed. And in the fourth chapter again, okay, so now karma marga has to be practiced by everyone, because very rarely we find somebody who is ready for jnana marga. So everybody has to, and even to enter the jnana marga, karma marga is the only way. So how to practice this karma marga is about the karmas. What kind of karmas are there? We should also have the knowledge of karma, akarma, and vikarma, and all this. And what kind of phalitas these kind of karmas give. If we don't know the difference between akarma and vikarma and the regular karma, satkarma, then we might think that we are progressing in the right path. But many times we don't even know. We don't even know certain karmas can give us bad result. Some we know, some we definitely everybody knows, like killing somebody, or stealing from somebody, or speaking lies, and all these we know. But there could also be certain things which we think is okay, but it is not okay. So we also discussed about asatyam. We think just telling lies is asatyam, but there are many kinds which are also considered as asatyam. So even though you are speaking the truth, if it is going to hurt somebody, and if there is no necessity for that truth to be told, where it is causing harm to somebody, then that is also called asatyam. Many of us do not know that. We think I am speaking the truth. So if it hurts somebody, then that is not my responsibility. We think like that. That is all because of lack of jnanam, right? So we need to know what a karma is, what akarma is, what vikarma is, and only through that we will be able to practice the satkarma charana, and only by practicing proper satkarma charana, our manas can be purified, and only by purifying the manas, we can have a control over our indriyas, and only by controlling our indriyas and the manas, only then we will be able to practice that detachment while doing the karmas, like phalapeksha vihita karmas we can do. and all that. And then in chapter 4, so Krishna talks about how he passed on this knowledge from the beginning of the time. And then Arjuna has a question, that, how can you be passing this on from the time of the Srishti, because you appear to be of the same age as I am. So then he talks about rebirth. Okay, how everybody takes rebirths, but there is a difference between the rebirth taken by Paramatma and rebirth taken by humans. So his are called avatarams. Why? Because he knows the past avatarams that he took, whereas we do not have any kind of knowledge of our previous rebirths, previous births. So there he says, and the reason, he also explains the reason why he's taking these avatars again and again. So whenever there is adharma, he comes to establish the dharma again. That is one. And again, so then again, why is he coming? He is the one who is performing all this, but he never considers that he is the karta. That kartrutvam he does not take. So he says, you also, though you are doing all these karmas, you should not own the kartrutvam. That is how we can practice the detachment from the satkarmas that we do. So even though we are doing satkarmas, we still have to practice not attaching to them. That kartrutvam we should not take. We should only look as Paramatma is making us do, and we are doing for the purpose of Paramatma and all that. In only that mindset we have to do. So that is how we need to practice the detachment. So even he says, even though I am doing all this, I never consider that I am doing all this. And about this, so who then is the karta? Like somebody is doing, right? So when a certain task is getting done, we see that physically that it is happening. But here we are seeing a particular person doing it, or Krishna doing certain things and all this. So when we are not the kartas, then who is the karta here? So we have to understand that Prakriti itself, because we are the body, the substance is made out of Prakriti, right? So again, when we have to distinguish between the Atma and the Sharira. So this Sharira is the one that is doing. And what is the Sharira made out of? The elements of the Prakriti. And whatever it is doing, that physical things that it is doing is also related to that materialistic things only. Another, again, Prakriti. So everything. So Guna Guneshu Vartante. That shloka explains about how the Prakriti, we are filled, our body is made out of the elements of Prakriti, and whatever we are doing is also in return to the Prakriti. So here, this Atma of ours is not the Karta. That we have to understand. Then we will be able to detach ourselves from the karma. We have to look at it. We have to do abhyasa in looking at everything in that way. That is the only way we can start to see the detachment. Otherwise, always we think it is I who am doing, whether good or bad. Either way, we should be detached. Even with good things also, we should be detached. The good things that we do, we should be detached. The bad things that we do, bad in the sense, whatever is needed as a duty, we are doing. We have to do. Sometimes we do bad things, though they are not our duty. That, of course, will accrue papam. But sometimes, as our duty, like how Arjuna has to perform this war. And in that war, he is killing people, which normally would have been a bad thing if he is doing it out of some kind of ragadvesha, or with some other emotions. If he does, then it will become a bad kriya and it will give him papam. But if he simply does it as his duty without any kind of emotion, then nothing will touch him. He's only doing his duty. And then, so how can we do this satkarmas? We have to look at everything as yajnaha. So there will be dravya yajnaha, and the different kinds of yajnaha are also discussed in this chapter, in chapter 4. And dravya yajnaha are there and jnana yajnaha are there. So dravya yajnaha we all know, and the jnana yajnaha is where you have to seek that jnanam, no matter whatever you have to do to obtain that jnanam. That is called jnana yajna. So for that, one has to seek a guru. And for that, again, there are the shlokas from the 33rd shloka to 34th shloka explain about that. Okay, Shraddha is needed and Indriya Nigraha is needed. And only through Satkarma Charana one can obtain the Shraddha that is needed. And by serving the Guru. And then fourth chapter also talks about having samshayas and how important it is to clear these samshayas. Otherwise, they can destroy us. Why? Because with that samshaya, if we are doing something, obviously we will not do it in the right way because we are still not sure. There is still some samshayam in our mind. When there is samshayam, how can we do it the perfect way? So which can destroy us. If we are doing something without the complete knowledge of it, it can destroy us. So we have to make sure that we have to clear all our samshayas with the Jnana Khatgam. So that is where the fourth chapter ends. Now, why did Arjuna ask? He is not an ordinary person, right? He is ambidextrous. He did so much of abhyasa that he can shoot arrows with both hands. And he's Bahumukha Prajnashali, not only in Yuddham, he has other kalas like the Nritya Kala and all, he is good at. And he also had Parameshwara appear before him. He did tapas, right, for Lord Shiva. So such kind of a person. And then he who has Sakshat Paramatma, the Jagat Guru, as his Sarathi. So having achieved so much, why is he having all these questions? It is because this samshayam is not easy to get rid of. So here what is being told to us, what is being conveyed to us is even a person like Arjuna, who is such a great sadhaka, even he is having this samshayam is pulling him back. So it is very, very, very important to clear this samshayam, and that samshayam is only because of ajnanam. Samshayam for anybody, any kind of samshayam is only because of ajnanam. And ajnanam is the enemy of jnanam. It is the enemy of jnanam. So ajnanam can only be destroyed with jnanam because that is the enemy of ajnanam. Jnanam is the only sadhana that can destroy the ajnanam. If ajnanam is there, in how much ever quantity, samshayam will be there. Once the samshayam is there, and if we do not clear it, destruction will be there. We will fall off of the right path because of that samshayam. If we do not clear up our samshayam and go forward and do something, there is a good chance that we'll fall on the wrong path. So that is the reason why it is important for us to clear the samshayam. But then why is it being mentioned so many times? Is because this samshayam or this ajnanam is very stubborn. It will not given easily. That also practically we can see with many times in our own ways. So when somebody tells us something, we resist. Initially, we resist to accept that. We keep finding some excuses. Say, for example, many of us have the habit of not admitting to our mistakes. Say, for example, we know it is a mistake that we have done. We understand. Maybe we don't know while we are doing it, but later we see that we did a mistake. But how often do we admit it to it? Honestly, what we do is if somebody shows that mistake, we try to defend ourselves. Oh no, this is the reason why I did, that is the reason why I did. But we won't come out flat and say, I didn't know that. That is the reason why I did it like this. We don't come out and say that. So that is the ajnanam acting stubbornly. If we keep that ajnanam under control, then we would have come out and accept our mistake and go forward in that learning journey, whatever it is. So this ajnanam is very hard to deal with. So only the jnanam can destroy it. So that is the reason why this abhyasa is needed to overcome this ajnanam. It is not easy to overcome this ajnanam. Okay. So that is what, that is the reason why Arjuna is again having this samshaya. Why? Because having samshaya is not a bad thing. But once we have a samshaya, how are we acting towards clearing it? That is what is important. So here it is because of a pinch of ajnanam that he has. He thinks he is ready for the jnana marga. He is leaning towards going into the jnana marga, but at the same time he's not simply able to enter the jnana marga, because Krishna himself is telling him, you have to do your duties as a kshatriya. So you have to follow the karma marga path. Jnana marga is there. It is better than the karma marga, no doubt about it. But you follow the karma marga. So, so in his mind, because he thinks he's ready for the Jnana Marga, and why am I not able to enter? Why are you forcing me to still practice the Karma Marga? So to understand that clearly, Krishna explains about the Jnana Marga and who is fit to enter into the Jnana Marga, and to enter into the Jnana Marga, one has to follow this Karma Marga. And even within this Karma Marga, what are the elements that we have to work on? And where you are, see, you were not able to fight with your cousins. So there itself you are still giving in to your indriyas and the ragadveshas and all. So how can you be ready for the jnana marga? So in that way, this samvadana will happen, and which is fine. This is not only for Arjuna, for all of us to understand clearly. Whenever we have such samshayams, what are the things we need to consider to clear those samshayams? So that is the reason why all this is given. So that is in the first shloka. In the first shloka, that question is asked. Okay. So here, Alivelu Bhagini, would you like to read the shloka and then the Padabhaga and Padaparishaya?
Bhagini. श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ पञ्चमोऽध्यायः कर्मसन्न्यासयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुनर्योगं च संशसि यच्छ्रेय एतयोरेकं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्। पदच्छेदः। सन्न्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुनर्योगं च शंससि यच्छ्रेयः यत् श्रेयः एतयोः एकं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्। सन्न्यासं
तत् मे
क्षम्यतां तत् मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्। सन्न्यासं पुंलिंग द्वितीया एकवचनं। कर्मणां कर्मन् नकारान्त नपुंसकलिंग षष्ठी बहुवचनं। कृष्ण संबोधना एकवचनम् अकारान्त पुंलिंग संबोधना एकवचनं। पुनर्योगं
पुनः योगम् अत्रापि पदविभाग
पुनः अव्ययं योगं योगः अकारान्त पुंलिंग द्वितीया एकवचनं। च अव्ययं शंससि
शंस् धातु
मध्यमपुरुष एकवचनं। शं धातुः मध्यम लकारं मध्यमपुरुष एकवचनं। यत् नकारान्त यद् शब्दस्य दकारान्त सर्वनाम नपुंसकलिंग प्रथमा एकवचनं। श्रेयः श्रेयस् सकारान्त नपुंसकलिंग
प्रथमा एकवचनं।
एतयोः षष्ठी एकवचनं। द्विवचनं। षष्ठी एतद् शब्दस्य षष्ठी द्विवचनं। सकारान्त सर्वनाम। एकं द्वितीया एकवचनं एकशब्दस्य। तत् शब्दस्य नपुंसकलिंग प्रथमा या द्वितीया एकवचनं। मे अश्मशब्दस्य मे षष्ठी एकवचनं। ब्रूहि भ्रू धातुः मध्यमपुरुष एकवचनं। लट्लकारेण लोट्लकारम्।
सुनिश्चितं
सुनिश्चितं निश्चितं द्वितीया एकवचनं
प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनमेव
प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनमेव नपुंसकलिङ्ग प्रथमा एकवचनं
अस्तु तो
महोदय क्षम्यतां मे इति चतुर्थी विभक्ति एकवचनं
may can be yeah chaturthi. You tell me for my
person check.
Yeah, chaturthi vibhakti ekavachanam also you can take. Yes.
Astu.
निश्चितमपि द्वितीया विभक्ति खलु मन्ये
द्वितीया विभक्ति अपि स्वीकर्तुं शक्नोति किन्तु अस्मद् शब्दे so may can be used actually in asmad shabda it can be taken only as shashti ekavachana, right? If it is yushmad shabda, in yushmad shabda may is not there, only te is there.
षष्ठी एव भवेत् खलु मम श्रेयः
अत्र सम्प्रदाने एव भवति किल
आम् आम्
सम्प्रदाने एव भवति
चतुर्थी एव भवेत्
for my purpose so karakam is
श्रेयः it qualifies श्रेयः खलु यत् मम श्रेयः अस्ति तत् वदतु इति
यत् श्रेयः सुनिश्चितं तत् मे ब्रूहि. So whatever is the best one that you tell me. Here me bruhi is you tell me only, in that sense only it will come to me. Okay.
सुनिश्चितमपि एकम् इति पदस्य विशेषणं भवति किल अत्र
कस्य पदस्य
धातुः भवति चेत् धातुः भवति चेदपि द्वितीया एव भवेत् खलु
द्वितीया एकवचनमेव
एदि सुनिश्चितं
एकं सुनिश्चितम्
एकं सुनिश्चितं सुनिश्चितम् एकं मे ब्रूहि, that which is definite one that you tell me. You pick one out of these two. एतयोः एकं सुनिश्चितं मे ब्रूहि.
द्वितीया विभक्ति एव
द्वितीया विभक्ति एव
अत्र मे द्वितीया अपि भवितुमर्हति खलु
wait one second here सुनिश्चितं yes we can take it as द्वितीया विभक्ति but it is not the karma padam. It sunischitam bruhi means definitely you tell what is the best. So we can take it as kriya visheshana also. So whenever we take kriya visheshana it will be either in dvitiya or tritiya. Here it is dvitiya because of the pada vishleshana. It has the dvitiya vibhakti rupam, so dvitiya vibhakti only. क्रिया विशेषण अस्तु so here पदार्थः
कृष्ण हे कृष्ण कर्मणां यज्ञादीनां संन्यासं परित्यागं पुनः भूयः योगं च तेषामेव परिग्रहं शंससि ब्रवीषि एतयोः अनयोः यत् श्रेयः यत् हितं सुनिश्चितं निर्णीतं तत् एकमेव मे ब्रूहि मां वद अन्वयः कृष्ण कर्मणां संन्यासं पुनः योगं च शंससि एतयोः यत् श्रेयः तत् सुनिश्चितं एकं मे ब्रूहि तात्पर्यं हे कृष्ण भवान् कर्मसंन्यासं वदति कर्मयोगमपि वदति कर्मणां त्यागः तेषां परिग्रहश्च विरुद्धत्वात् युगपत् सर्वथा न संभवति तस्मात् श्रेष्ठत्वेन यत् भवता निश्चितं तत् मे कथयतु रामानुजेय मतम् संन्यासः ज्ञानयोगः योगः कर्मयोगः प्रश्न
1 minute, 1 minute. Ekam nimisham bhagini. So we'll ask somebody else. So here in the Tatparyam, we can see that Bhavan karma sannyasam vadati, karma yogam api vadati. Karma sannyasam is to give up, like in the Jnana Marga. One who enters Jnana Marga need not do any of the karmas. Karmanam tyagaha tesham parigrahancha viruddhatvat yugapat sarvatha na sambhavati. How can one do both? They cannot do. So tasmat shreshtatvena yat bhavata nishchitam tat me kathayatu. So why is he asking this question? He who wants to be in the Jnana Marga cannot do the karmas, and you are asking them to do the karmas. So only when you feel that you want to be in the Jnana Marga, this question arises. If you understand that you are in the Karma Marga and this is my first step, I have to first master this step, then this confusion will not come. So this also tells us that Arjuna very strongly wants to enter the Jnana Marga because he thinks he is ready for it. But what Krishna says is, as much as Arjuna is such a great person, but still there are some areas on which he has to work on. So that is the reason why, that is a message given to us, that though we think that we are almost ready for Jnana Marga, there are still many areas that we need to work on, and for that reason Karma Marga has to be practiced. Without proper practice and overcoming, we cannot take up the Jnana Marga, and even if we take up Jnana Marga in a rush, we will fail. So we will end up nowhere. We cannot come back into this Karma Marga, and we'll end up somewhere without any proper guidance to move forward. Okay. So Alivelu Bhagini? Sorry.
Yugapat means am Bhagini.
Not Alivelu Bhagini, actually Allirani Bhagini. Yugapat means together.
धन्यवाद.
Allirani Bhagini. So Prashna.
अमान्य नमस्कार. कृष्णः अर्जुनं प्रति केषां सन्न्यासं कथयति. कृष्णः अर्जुनं प्रति कर्मणां सन्न्यासं कथयति. कृष्णः अर्जुनं प्रति केषां योगं संशति. कृष्णः अर्जुनं प्रति कर्मणां योगं संशति. यश्ययः तत् ब्रूहि इति कः कं प्रति वदति. यश्ययः तत् ब्रूहि इति अर्जुनः कृष्णं प्रति वदति. कर्मणां सन्न्यासः इत्यस्य अर्थः कः. कर्मणां सन्न्यासः इत्यस्य अर्थः कर्मणां परित्यागः. अत्र श्लोके संबोधनपदं किं. कृष्ण. संबोधनपदं कृष्ण.
Atra Kriyapadam Kim. 1 second before moving forward, Dwarakanath Reddy Mahodaya has his hand raised. Do you have any question, Mahodaya?
No, Nasti, Bhagini. Nasti.
Nasti. Okay. Allirani Bhagini. So Atra Kriyapadam Kim?
ब्रूहि.
Bruhi. So Kartripadam Kim? Bruhi, and there is another Kriyapadam also. Shamsasi.
Shamsasi.
What does Shamsasi mean?
Bravishi. Vadasi. Bravishi.
So sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogancha shamsasi. So you have told about 2 paths. Okay, karmanam sannyasam yogam. These are the 2 paths that you have told. So shamsasi is the first kriyapadam. Since it is in Purusha ekavachana, we can take tvam as the adhyahritam kartripadam. So what is the karmapadam atra?
त्वं कर्तृपदं
सन्न्यासं पुनः योगं. कर्मणां सन्न्यासं योगं. कर्म.
Sannyasam and yogam are the two karma padams here. Sannyasam, kasya sannyasam or kesham sannyasam, karmanam sannyasam. So
Karmanam
karmanam
sannyasam.
will be shashti sambandha to sannyasam. Sannyasam will be karma padam to shamsasi. And punaha yogam. Punaha we can take it as a simply sambandha. Yogam. Yogam is another karma padam. So shamsasi is the kriya padam. Tvam will be the adhyahritam kartrupadam. Two karma padams are there, sannyasam and yogam. For sannyasam, we have kesham sannyasam, karmanam sannyasam. So karmanam will be the shashti sambandha to sannyasam. Krishna is the sambodhya here. And punaha, we can simply, punaha is more like...
Punaha is avyayam. So yogam will become upapada vibhakti. No, upada karka.
So we can simply add punaha as a sambandha to the kriyapadam. Okay, while we are marking the relations, if a word is simply connected, like many times the avyayas will be there, which don't have any particular karaka sambandha, so they are simply marked as a sambandha because they are not any karaka sambandha, but they are there in the shloka. They emphasize sometimes. They emphasize on certain things like tu or va or cha. Cha, of course, samuchaya, for samuchaya reasons we use. Such things you can simply mark them as a sambandha. Okay, that is with the first kriyapadam. Second kriyapadam, bruhi. That also is in madhyama purusha ekavachana. So tvam, kartrupadam. What will be the karma padam there?
Shreyaha.
Yat shreyaha. Tat bruhi.
Tat bruhi.
So here, because we have this yat and tat, we can make two sentences. Yat shreyaha asti. That which is the best. Between what? So etayoho. Etayoho. Yat shreyaha asti. Tat ekam bruhi.
Ekam bruhi.
Tat, until that one which is between the two, whichever is the best, that one you tell. Okay, so here we can link the two sentences with yat and tat. With yat, you have to take asti or bhavati as the adhyahritam kriyapadam. Yat etayoho yat shreyaha asti tat
ekam
Sunishchitam shreyaha asti.
Sunishchitam bruhi.
Sunishchitam shreyaha asti.
Sunishchitam bruhi.
So here sunishchitam nirnitam. So whatever you decide is, whatever you decide, that you tell.
So sunishchitam shreyam what can make? Sunishchitam shreyam can we make?
Here shreyaha etayoho yat shreyaha tat sunishchitam. You only tell definitely.
Definitely. Nishchayana.
So sunishchitam will be kriya visheshana to bruhi. You tell it like in a determined way. It is not related with shreyaha. Yat shreyaha etayoho yat shreyaha tat sunishchitam bruhi. So here
sunishchitam bruhi.
And means you decide. It is more like you decide and tell. Between the two, which is the best, you decide and tell. So here this sunishchitam will act more like a kriya visheshana. May bruhi. So may here will be like sampradana, but it is in shashti vibhakti. So we can take it as shashti sambandha. Yeah. Etayoho ekam. Okay, between the two, you tell one. Etayoho ekam shreyaha.
Sunishchitam ekam bruhi.
महोदय नमस्कारः तात्पर्ये पदार्थे मां वद मे ब्रूहि मां वद इति दत्तमस्ति मां द्वितीया विभक्ति खलु
द्वितीया विभक्ति
तर्हि चतुर्थी वा षष्ठी वा कथं भवति
So here in the shloka we have may. Me is asmad shabdasya shashti ekavachanam eva.
किन्तु पदार्थे मे ब्रूहि इज इक्वल टू माम वद माम किं विभक्त्याम् अस्ति कस्यां विभक्त्याम् अस्ति माम
द्वितीया विभक्ति एव द्वितीया विभक्ति एव
तदर्थः किं मा मे इज इक्वल टू द्वितीया विभक्ति एवं खलु
आम्
तर्हि चतुर्थी वा षष्ठी वा कथं वयं
so basically Mahodaya, here may, the word may is used, which is in Shashti Vibhakti. Putting that aside, but the meaning of it is like you tell me. When you say you tell me, for my purpose, for my knowledge, you tell me, you simply tell me. If you mean it in the way of for my knowledge, you tell, we can call it Sampradana. But if we tell, you tell me, simply you tell me, then Mam Vada. So that is Dvitiya Vibhakti. But here in the shloka, may is used. May is used because just grammatically, meaning wise, it is you tell me. You can take it as Dvitiya or Sampradana. Meaning wise. But
Sampradana कथं भवति वद धातोः ब्रूहि धातोः कथय धातोः सम्प्रदान कथं भवति
सम्प्रदानम् इत्युक्ते प्रयोजनं for my purpose you tell it for my knowledge
न सम्प्रदानं वद धातोः सम्प्रदानं कदापि न भवति
न भवति किन्तु for my purpose not सम्प्रदानम् it is not सम्प्रदानम् that is why I am saying prayojanam we can use chaturthi vibhakti in the sense of prayojanam for my purpose for the purpose of my knowledge
प्रयोजनमेव सम्प्रदानं प्रयोजनमेव सम्प्रदानं कदापि चतुर्थी विभक्त्याः प्रयोगः वद धातोः वा ब्रूहि धातोः वा कथय धातोः वा कदापि भवितुं न शक्यते षष्ठी वा द्वितीय वा किन्तु श्लोक पुस्तके दत्तमस्ति द्वितीय रूपेण
महोदय एकं सन्देहः अस्ति मम so when I say माता पुत्राय कथां वदति
न कदापि दोषः सः सम्पूर्ण दोषः भवति पुत्राय कथां वद एतत् प्रयोगं सम्पूर्णः अपशब्दः
so पुत्रं कथां वदति that is there
पुत्रं कथां वदति तदेव सम्यक् प्रयोगः पुत्राय कथं वदति कदापि न सम्भवति
वद धातु द्विकर्मकः वा महोदय
द्विकर्मक अस्तु तत्र एकं कर्म तत् एकं कर्म तत् ब्रूहि तत् एकं कर्मपदं मे ब्रूहि द्विकर्मक
मम ब्रूहि
छात्रः अध्यापकं प्रश्नं पृच्छति द्विकर्मकः कं पृच्छति अध्यापकं पृच्छति किं पृच्छति प्रश्न कः पृच्छति कं पृच्छति प्रश्नं पृच्छति that is dvikarmaka doesn't mean both are karmapadas should be in dvitiya vibhakti eva karmapadam kadapi anya vibhaktim na bhavati vibhaktiyam na bhavati.
So one second Mahodaya, one second. Dvikarmaka, that is true. What you said is true. For a Dvikarmaka dhatu, when both karma padams are there in the sentence, they will be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. But sometimes, depending on the Vakta's Ichcha, if he chooses the Gauna Karma, he can put it in another Vibhakti. There it is not marked. One second. There it is not marked as karma padam there. There it can take other vibhaktis, like it can take Panchami, or it can take Tritiya, or it can take Sampradana. Like that it can take it is the choice of the Vakta how he would like to represent it.
Yes.
महोदये तत्र विवक्षा नास्ति विवक्षा अत्र विवक्षा नास्ति किन्तु अग्रे गच्छामः
So basically what I'm saying is what you said is true. Here the meaning wise it is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, Mam Vada only. But in the shloka May is given which is in Shashti Vibhakti. So whenever the word is in Shashti Vibhakti, we have to mark it as simply Shashti Sambandha only as per the what do you say, marking of annotation. Basically we call that annotation when you are marking the relations. When a word is in Shashti Vibhakti, but still it is taking the place of a Karma Padam, it doesn't matter. Since it is in Shashti Vibhakti, we mark it as Shashti Sambandha.
भवतु भवतु किन्तु चतुर्थी विभक्त्यां तु कदापि न भवति षष्ठी वा द्वितीय वा भवतु
Chaturthi Vibhakti na bhavati, but what I am saying is whenever we are saying I am telling you this, it can be taken in all these meanings is what I am saying. For my knowledge, can you please tell me if you are taking it in that sense, then that prayojanam will be there. That prayojana is being emphasized on. But if you simply say you tell me, then again you simply tell me. That is, you have to tell me. Of course, this is again, when somebody is telling something to somebody, it is only for their knowledge or to inform them only. But these are the different ways of expressing that sentence. That is the only way I have told. Here, May is in Shashti Vibhakti. So we mark it as Shashti Sambandha, but it is playing the role of a karma only because Mam Vadatu, like how you say, Mam Vada. The meaning wise, it is you tell me. So when you are telling me, it can be taken as Karma Padam only. But since it is given in Shashti Vibhakti, we have to mark it as Shashti Sambandha only.
षष्ठी वा द्वितीय वा भवतु किन्तु चतुर्थ्यां तु न अग्रे गच्छामः वयं विस्तरेण चर्चां कृतवन्तः अग्रे गच्छामः
आम् महोदय धन्यवादः. So here this is the second kriya padam, bruhi. So anantaram we have the vyakaranam. Vyakaranam Ravishankar Mahodaya patitum ichchati va?
पठामि महोदय. श्रूयते वा?
आम् श्रूयते.
व्याकरणं सन्धिः पुनर्योगं पुनः अधिकं योगं विसर्गस्य रेफः यत् श्रेयः षत्वसन्धिः श्चुत्वमपि यत् श्रेयः एतयोः विसर्गस्य लोपः एतयोः अधिकम् एकं विसर्गस्य रेफः तत् मे अनुनासिकसन्धिः कृदन्तः सुनिश्चितं सु उपसर्गपूर्वकः निस् धातु चि ता कर्मणि.
अस्तु. अनन्तरं द्वितीयं श्लोकं मूर्ति महोदय पठितुम् इच्छति वा?
पठितुम् इच्छामि. श्रीभगवानुवाच संन्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसौ करावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्मसंन्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते. पदविभागः संन्यासः कर्मयोगः च निःश्रेयसकरौ उभौ तयोः तु कर्मसंन्यासात् कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते. संन्यासः
एकवचनं.
सकारान्त मकारान्त.
अकारान्तः एव
मकारान्त
अकारान्त
प्रथमपुरुष एकवचनं कर्मयोगः कर्मयोगः योगं मकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्ग
न न न अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग
अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग
प्रथमा
प्रथमावृत्ति एकवचनं निःश्रेयसकरौ निःश्रेयसकरौ निःश्रेयसकरौ
तो निःश्रेयस्कर अकारान्त
अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग प्रथमाविभक्ति द्विवचन उभौ उभौ is of course प्रथमाविभक्ति द्विवचन but शब्दम I am not able to get शब्द
अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग एव अकारान्त
उत्शब्द उभौ उभ
द्वितीया द्विवचन
शब्द I am not getting उभौ प्रथमाविभक्ति द्विवचन that I am able to get but what is the प्रातिपदिक I am not able to get for उभौ
उभा only
उभा only okay उभा तयोः तयोः is this one तद्शब्द पुल्लिङ्ग no तद् नपुंसकलिङ्ग तद् नपुंसकलिङ्ग तयोः that is out of these two no तयोः षष्ठी द्विवचन or तयोः
here tayoho take it as pumlinga only mahodaya why because sannyasah and karma yoga both are pumlinga only so
okay okay tasya tayoh okay I forgot that basic but tadshebda all the three I forgot tadshebda pullinga tayoh that is षष्ठी विभक्ति तयोः द्विवचन षष्ठी विभक्ति द्विवचन कर्म संन्यासात् संन्यासात् चतुर्थी विभक्ति संन्यासात् पंचमी संन्यासात् पंचमी विभक्ति एकवचनं कर्मयोगः कर्मयोगः is again योगः कर्मयोगस्य प्रथमाविभक्ति एकवचनं विशिष्यते is धातु that is last lakara only vi उपसर्ग शिष्यते
shas dhatu
shas dhatu okay now padarthah of course you can I will read from book itself sannyasah karma parityagah कर्मयोगः च कर्मपरिग्रहः च उभौ द्वौ निःश्रेयसकरौ मोक्षप्रदौ निःश्रेयसकरौ means मोक्षप्रदौ तयोः तु किन्तु द्वयोः कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मपरित्यागात् कर्मयोगः कर्मपरिग्रहः विशिष्यते प्रशस्यते okay here only one kriya pada is there I think sannyasa one shreyasakara over that is
so here we can take sannyasah karmyogah cha au nishreyaskarau stah
okay stah okay there the ajahara this one you have to take some verb
stah
sannyasa karmayoga cha nishreyasakaro ubhau asti stah okay asti stah santi that asdatus this one you can take asti bhava ujjate these are all ajaharas for normal this one tayos second one this vishishyate is this one kriya pada
कर्म संन्यासात् कर्मयोगः
कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते संन्यासः कर्मयोगश्च उभौ निःश्रेयसकरौ स्तः तयोस्तु कर्मसंन्यासात् कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते
would you like to tell the karaka relations here
karaka relations संन्यासः कर्मयोग these are all संन्यासः कर्मयोगश्च both
both are good
both are kartrupadas no
sannyasah karmayogah both are kartrupadani nishreyaskarau will be vidheya visheshana it will be vidheya
visheshana to star dhatu
both of these
तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासः कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगः तयोः कर्मयोगः is कर्तृपदा in second sentence.
Karma yoga
कर्मयोगः तयोः कर्मसन्न्यासात् विशिष्यते. Karmasanyasat is this one, what you can say, the Panchami, the comparison, but how relationship is
in comparison, karma
comparison to Karma
sannyasa.
Yoga and Sannyasa and Karma Yoga. That is the Karaka Sambandha, I think. No?
Apadanam you can say.
Okay. Apadana. Okay. Now Tatparyam. Karma Sannyasaha कर्मयोगः च इति एतौ उभौ अपि मोक्षकारकौ किन्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मपरिग्रहः विशिष्यते. Actually, I got some for understanding purpose only. Actually, this from the first few slokas. Actually, though it is saying karma sannyasa yoga, actually implementation of the telling way finally, it is karmapala sannyasa yogam or nirapeksha karmacharana yogam. Almost like that it will become. Now prashna. Kau nishreyasakaro sannyasascha karmayogascha nishreyasakaro. कर्मसन्न्यासात् कः विशिष्यते? कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते. कयोः कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते? कर्मसन्न्यास कर्मयोगयोः कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते. कर्मयोगः इत्यस्य अर्थः कः? कर्मयोगः इत्यस्य अर्थः कर्म आचरणं. कर्मयोगो विशिष्यति इति कः उवाच? श्री भगवान् उवाच. व्याकरणं संधिः कर्मयोगः च विसर्गसन्धि सकारः स्तुत्वं निःश्रेयसकरा उभौ निःश्रेयसकरौ प्लस उभौ यान्तवान्तादेश संधि तयोः तु विसर्गसन्धि सकारः कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते. कर्मयोगः विशिष्यते विसर्गसन्धि सकारः रेफा उकार गुणः समासः. कर्मयोगः दुष्कृतां कर्मणां योगः. कर्मणा योगः कर्मयोगः दुष्कृतां 3.2, that is old book is referring. कर्म संन्यासः कर्मणां संन्यासः षष्ठी पुरुषः.
So karma yoga is karma eva yoga.
कर्म एव योगः. Okay. That is
Avadharana purvapada karma.
कर्म एव योगः. Okay.
So here this karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. Let us not say apadanam. It is simply panchami vibhakti because of the comparison. We cannot say upapada also. Why? Because upapada comes with paraha, purvaha, like that. But since here those words are not there, simply just panchami vibhakti rather than apadanam. Okay, we covered that in the Karakam class, if you remember, when that comparison is being made between two things, Panchami Vibhakti is used, but this Panchami Vibhakti is only Panchami Vibhakti. It is not because of the Apadanam.
Okay.
Dhanyavadaha. So, any questions so far in these two shlokas? Anantaram no chet agre pathamah. Chari Mahodaya patitum ichchati va?
No, how is this one, madam? Karma sannyasa yoga, karma pala sannyasa yoga napi spashtarupeణ वक्तुं शक्यते.
Kim Mahodaya?
Karma sannyasa yoga means it is not actually karmanam sannyasam. It is karma phalanam sannyasam.
Yes, correct.
So karma phala sannyasa yoga.
Correct. So in the shlokas, that is
karmacharanam kartavyam.
So in the following shlokas, that is what will be explained. Sannyasam means not simply giving up our duties, but it is doing our duties without any raga dvesha or any kind of attachment. That is what is called sannyasam. Yes. Of course, again in sannyasam also two kinds are there. Yeah, we will come to that later when we come to those shlokas. We'll discuss.
Namaskaram, Mahodaya.
Namaste, Mahodaya. So in this second shloka, again, whatever has been said is again being said. Karma Yoga helps us. It is better than the, of course, both. Between the two, Karma Sannyasat, Karma Yoga Vishishyate. So here in the Tatparyam, Karma Sannyasah, Karma Yogaha cha iti etau ubhau api mokshakarakau, kintu Karma Sannyasat, Karma Parigraha Vishishyate. So why is it told like that? Why is Karma Parigraha Vishishyate? Why? Because that is the first step even to enter into the Jnana Marga. The Karma Marga is the more, without doing any karmas, one cannot achieve that Shuddhi, Manas Shuddhi. So to be able to achieve that state, one has to do first whatever his responsibilities are. Only through that, without climbing the first step, we cannot jump into the last step. So the first step is very important. In that way, we can take here. Okay. Chari Mahodaya.
कर्म एव योगः कर्मयोगः किं समासः
अवधारणा पूर्वपद कर्मधारय समास
परिग्रह means
to hold, to take up.
धन्यवाद.
ज्ञेयः स नित्यसन्न्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते. ज्ञेयः सः नित्यसन्न्यासी यः न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वः हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते.
पदपरिचय. ज्ञेयः
अकारान्त पुंलिंग प्रथम एकवचन.
प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं. ज्ञाधातोः यत् प्रत्ययम्.
सः अकारान्त पुंलिंग प्रथम एकवचनं.
तद् शब्दस्य प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं पुंलिंग. सः तद् शब्दस्य सः तौ ते.
तद् शब्दस्य अकारान्त पुंलिंग एकवचनं.
अकारान्त नास्ति, दकारान्त.
नित्यसन्न्यासी सन्यासी इति अकारान्त पुंलिंग.
सन्यासिन् नकारान्त पुंलिंग
नकारान्त पुंलिंग प्रथम एकवचनं. यः यत् शब्दस्य प्रथम विभक्ति न अव्ययम् द्वेष्टि न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति.
द्वेष्टि इज द्विष धातोः लट् लकार प्रथमा पुरुष एकवचनं.
द्विष धातोः लट् लकार प्रथम एकवचनं. अव्ययम् काङ्क्षति धातु.
काङ्क्ष धातु लट् लकार
प्रथम पुरुष
एकवचनं.
निर्द्वन्द्वः अकारान्त पुंलिंग प्रथम एकवचनं. अव्ययम् महाबाहु संबोधन एकवचनं. अकारान्त पुंलिंग संबोधन एकवचनं. सुखम्
अकारान्त न उकारान्त. बाहु
महाबाहु उकारान्तो उकारान्तः
पुंलिङ्ग संबोधन एकवचन
संबोधन प्रथम एकवचनं सुखम अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग द्वितीय एकवचनं
sukha sukham can be taken as avyayam also.
सुखम
Sukham avyayam is there and pumlinga napumsaka are also there. We can take it as avyayam.
अव्ययम् सुखम अव्ययम् बन्धात् अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग पंचमी एकवचनं मुच्यते प्रा उपसर्ग पूर्वक मुच् धातोः
लट् लकार
लकार
प्रथम पुरुष एकवचनम्
एकवचनम्
आत्मनेपदी
आत्मनेपदी धातु
पदार्थः
महाबाहो हे अर्जुन यः पुरुषः न द्वेष्टि न वैरं कुरुते न काङ्क्षति न इच्छति सः पुरुषः नित्यसन्न्यासी सततसन्न्यासी ज्ञेयः ज्ञातव्यः निर्द्वन्द्वः रागद्वेषशून्यः बन्धनात् सुखम् अनायासेन प्रमुच्यते मुक्तो भवति अन्वयः महाबाहो यः न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति सः नित्यसन्न्यासी ज्ञेयः निर्द्वन्द्वः बन्धात् सुखं प्रमुच्यते तात्पर्यं हे अर्जुन यः अन्यान् न द्वेष्टि किंचिदपि न काङ्क्षति सः कर्मयोगी नित्यसन्न्यासी इति ज्ञातव्यं रागद्वेषशून्यः सः सुखेन कर्मबन्धात् मुक्तो भवति प्रश्नाः नित्यसन्न्यासी कीदृशो भवति नित्यसन्न्यासी न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति सः कः ज्ञेयः यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं ज्ञेयः सः नित्यसन्न्यासी निर्द्वन्द्वः कस्मात् प्रमुच्यते निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते निर्द्वन्द्वः इत्यस्य कः अर्थः
निर्द्वन्द्वः इत्युक्ते रागद्वेषशून्यः
निर्द्वन्द्वः कथं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते व्याकरणम् महोदय
अस्तु महोदय धन्यवादः सूर्या भगिनी पठितुम् इच्छति वा
महोदय साङ्ख्ययोगौ पृथक् बालाः अवदन्
भगिनी व्याकरणं पठनीयं व्याकरणं
सन्धिः स नित्यसन्न्यासी सः नित्यसन्न्यासी विसर्गसन्धिः लोपः यो नः यः नः विसर्गसन्धिः सकार नः न न यः न विसर्गसन्धिः सकारः रेफः उकारः गुणः निर्द्वन्द्वो हि निर्द्वन्द्वः हि विसर्गसन्धिः सकारः रेफः उकारः गुणः समासः नित्यसन्न्यासी नित्यं सन्न्यासी सुप् समासः निर्द्वन्द्वः दृश्यताम् निर्द्वन्द्वः
निर्गतं द्वन्द्वं यस्मात् सः
यस्मात् सः महाबाहो दृश्यताम् 226
महाबाहो Mahantau bahu yasya saha. He who has
Uh-huh.
big arms or strong arms, you can say.
మహాంతం బాహవ అని అవుతుంది అది.
Mahantau bahu
మహాంతం
dvivachanam.
మహాంతం బాహు.
Why? Because two arms, a person will have two arms. So dvivachanam, in dvivachana, mahantau bahu yasya saha. Mahabahu. In Sambodhana, it becomes Mahabaho. Okay, and Supsamasa, like we discussed many times, Nityam Sannyasi. So when two words which are joined in Samasa, but which do not fall in any of the categories like Tatpurusha Samasa or Bahuvrihi or Avyayi Bhava or any of these Samasas, it is simply called Supsamasa. When two Subantas are joined in a Samasa, but they do not fall into any of these categories, then it is called Supsamasa.
సుప్సమస్తం ఎప్పుడు కూడా ప్రథమ విభక్తిలో ఉంటుంది.
ఎక్కువ సార్లు.
महोदय नित्यं शब्दः सुबन्तः वा?
So basically there is also a way of saying that everything can be, like even the avyayams are considered as subantas. So in that sense we can consider these both nityam as a subanta. Okay, so here in this kriya padam kim bhagini?
Kriya padam.
And actually nitya is in pumlinga and napumsakalinga also, the nitya shabda. So it is a subanta only. So here the kriya padani are kankshati, dveshti and pramuchyate. We have three kriya padani. So here how we can look at the anvaya. Yaha na dveshti na kankshati saha nitya sannyasi asti iti jneyaha. Okay. So nirdvandvaha bandhat sukham pramuchyate. So again coming back to the first sentence, yaha na dveshti na kankshati. So here both these kriya padams are applying to the same karta. Yaha na dveshti, yaha na kankshati. So he who does not have any kind of dvesham and he who does not have any kind of kanksha means desire. Okay. Saha nitya sannyasi. So here we have, so saha nitya sannyasi asti. Okay. So here we can have, here actually,
Saha karma padam kanta చెప్పొచ్చేమో కదా.
Saha will not be karma padam. We can take as karma padam. We'll come to that part later. So first, yaha saha. Okay. With yaha, we have two kriya padams, dveshti, kankshati. Yaha na dveshti, kankshati cha. Here you can take cha as adhyahritam and join dveshti and kankshati to the yaha, which is the kartrupadam. Yaha na dveshti, na kankshati. So one na will be connected to dveshti. The second na will be connected to kankshati. And you can join dveshti and kankshati with cha. Why? Because we have two kriya padams with one kartrupadam. So yaha na dveshti, na kankshati cha. Saha nitya sannyasi jneyaha. So we can take actually jneyaha itself as the kriya padam, which is in, so jneyaha is in, what is the pada vishleshana of jneyaha?
Jnadhatu.
Jnadhatu. So jnatavyaha. So jneyaha, actually jneyaha should be known. He should be known. Saha jneyaha means he should be understood as a sannyasi. In that sense we have to take. He should be understood as a sannyasi. He who does not
జ్ఞేయః అంటే తెలుసున్నవాడు అన్నట్టుగా వస్తుందేమో కదా, ఇది ప్రాతిపదికంలోకి వస్తుంది అనుకుంటా.
జ్ఞేయ అంటే జ్ఞాతవ్య అనేట్లో వస్తుంది అర్థం
తెలుసుకొనబడాలి. In that sense we can should be known as. should be known as. So it is in the same meaning as Jnatavyah. Okay. So Saha Sannyasi iti Jneyah. And he should be known as a sannyasi. He who does not have dvesham, he who does not have desire should be known as a sannyasi. So here Jneyah is in more like a karmani prayoga. So we can mark Jneyah, we can mark Saha as karma padam and sannyasi is karma samana adhikaranam, means videya visheshana. Videya visheshana. Saha sannyasi Jneyah. So sannyasi will be the videya visheshana of Saha. And yat, Yaha and Saha will be the joining points for these two parts. Anantaram, Dvitiyam Vakyam, Nirdvandvaha Bandhat Sukham Pramuchyate. So Nirdvandvaha will be the Sukham Pramuchyate. Nirdvandvaha will be the Kartrupadam of Pramuchyate. No. Nirdvandvaha. Yeah. Nirdvandvaha Bandhat Sukham Pramuchyate. So Nirdvandvaha will be the Kartrupadam. Bandhat Apadanam. Sukham Pramuchyate. What will Sukham be?
Sukham Karmapadam.
Bandhala nunchi vimuktudautadu. Kada? That is how we have to take. Ragadvesha shunyaha saha sukhena karma bandhat muktaha bhavati. So very easily he will be free of the bandha. So here sukham is acting more like a kriya visheshanam. Very easily he will become free from the bandhas. So sukham should be marked as kriya visheshanam.
Kriya visheshanam to pramuchyate.
Kriya visheshana to pramuchyate. Okay.
Sukatarena, sukhena. Meaning is sukhena or sukhena.
So kriya visheshanams usually will be in dvitiya vibhakti or tritiya vibhakti. So here even sukhena would have been a correct application, but sukham is used, which is fine. It is still a kriya visheshana. And then we also have
महोदय अव्ययमपि भवितुमर्हति किल? सुखम् अव्ययमपि भवितुमर्हति किल?
अव्ययमपि भवितुमर्हति. But it is given as for Nitya, earlier for Nitya you asked. Yeah, Sukham is there as Avyayam as well as Pumlinga Shabda also. Okay. So you can mark it as Avyayam and Kriya Visheshan or Dvitiya Vibhakti and Kriya Visheshan. Either is fine.
Madam, I got a small Vyakarana doubt here. Whenever these padas, you said just like Sukham, and previously some other word also you said.
Nitya.
Nityam, Nityam. When we say Avyayam is Linga Vibhakti Vachana Sunyani, can we coin as two types of avyas? There one is purely there is no like nothing like Vibhakti, Linga Vibhakti Vachana Sunya, that is pure avyas. And sometimes they will be in all three lingas, no? Nityam, Nitya, Nityam. Like that, any avyas like that, can we take two types of avyas? Can we, is there any
Mahodaya. So avyayas will always be Niyatalinga only, without any linga beda, or sometimes they will take one linga, but they will be always in that linga only, Niyatalinga. So they don't change the linga depending on how they are being used in a sentence. So they will sometimes some avyayas can be like in Pumlinga Shabda or Strilinga Shabda or Napumsaka, mostly Napumsaka, but sometimes you see some avyayas in Pumlinga also, but change. They don't change. They will always be in that linga only. Niyata linga we call.
Okay, Nitlinga, and but that is they will not have Subanta forms of 7/3, but they will be only in Prasma Vibhakti, Ekavachana forms only will be there.
Vachana Bheda also will not be there. For avyayas, Vachana Bheda also will.
Vachana Bheda Sunya. Vachana Bheda is Sunya. But linga pairs only prathama purusha prathama
No.
किमपि न भवति.
Vibhakti also will not be there. It will
but
always be.
generally like but generally prathama vibhakti only we will use them in that case.
You can say that Prathama Vibhakti
Use
Ekavachana, but we don't call it Vibhakti. Why? Because it does not change Vibhaktis. So that is why it is called Avyayam. It will always be in that singular Ekavachana form.
But we are using all the three forms. Then it is not linga sunya.
No, if the same word, 1 minute, Mahodaya.
Okay.
Mahodaya, if a word is marked as Avyaya, it will not take all the three lingas. It will have, by default, it will have only one linga, and it will be used only in that linga, no matter with what you are using it. Like say, for example, Vimshatihi. It is not an Avyaya, but it is a Strilinga Shabda. But even if you are using it with a Pumlinga, like Vimshatihi Purushaha Santi. Purushaha is Pumlinga Shabda, Vimshatihi is a Strilinga Shabda. But even when you are using it with a Pumlinga Shabda, and even if it is a Visheshana, it does not change its linga because the Purushaha is in Pumlinga, it does not change the linga. We still use it like a Strilinga Shabda only. Similarly, in Avyayams also, most of them are Napumsaka, but some Avyayams have a Pumlinga form, but they do not change with the words that they are being used. And even the Vachana also will not change, Linga also will not change, Vibhakti also will not change. That is why they are called Avyayas.
महोदय ज्ञेयः पदविवरणं किं महोदय?
Jneyah is yat pratyayam actually.
Of kasya?
Yat.
Yat pratyaya kasya yat pratyayah?
Jna.
Jna
dhatoho yat pratyayam.
Yat pratyayah. Jna dhatoho yas pratyayah.
And there is another Vishleshana also for this. Yeah, the Yat Pratyayam only is more commonly used.
Yat Pratyayah kim सूचयति महोदय? Yat Pratyayah vayam न जानीमः.
Samkrudanta. See, normally we are familiar with only few, some most frequently used, some 9 are there. But Krudanta dhatu, some when you use this one, Jneyaha, that is similar Jatavya, G dhatu, Jatavya.
So it will indicate a karma. Basically, some pratyayas indicate the karta, and some pratyayas indicate the karma, some pratyayas indicate the bhavam. So like that, this particular pratyaya indicates the karma. Like means something to be known. In that sense, the yat pratyaya can be taken. So here also jneyaha means it should be known. So this person should be known as a sannyasi in that sense. In detailed, there is much more to each of the pratyayas, but we plan to cover the pratyayas in a separate class.
But generally, mostly use only about 9 or 10 frequently used ones. Other ones there. Otherwise, if you want to make, there will be about 2. Somewhere I don't remember exact number, but around 230 Krudanta pratyayas are there.
Yes.
Taditanta also almost like that, or still more. Maybe around 1000 Tadita pratyayas are there. We cannot cover them easily. But most frequently used ones we will come across, and that we will use it. Other ones we have to separately look in dictionary or separately see in Siddhanta Kaumudya or Ashtadhyaya, which pratyayas. Frequently used ones will be knowing.
Astu. So here, we will do the pratyayas in a different class. So coming back to this shloka, basically, So what is this shloka here? Many times this is the most misunderstood. This is the most misunderstood word. Which one? Sannyasi. Sannyasi means what many times people think is leaving everything and simply going into the forest or the mountains to perform tapas, leaving out all the responsibilities. But that is not what it is. This shloka clearly explains that. So, Jneyah sa Nitya Sannyasi. Again, there is a difference between Nitya Sannyasi and Sannyasi. Nitya Sannyasi means on a daily basis practicing these two qualities, having no dvesham and having no desire. And he who does not leave his responsibilities also. He who does not leave his responsibilities. Many times, like I said, people, they want to enter into this Jnana Marga so much that they look at all these responsibilities as hindrances. They think if I didn't have to do these things, I would have been, pursuing my spiritual path. So they want to leave all their responsibilities and go because they are in that state of mind that Virakta Bhavam is there. Again, here Virakta means one way taking in Telugu languages becoming losing interest. But actually what Virakta Bhavam means, not being attached without having any raga dveshas. In Sanskritam, that word means in that way. We have to take in that sense only. So we should not leave our responsibilities out of losing interest. We have to perform our duties, and through that only we have to enter the Jnana Marga, but not simply leaving and going. So only such a person can overcome the bandhas easily. Only he who practices these. So by practicing these, the not having the dvesha, raga dveshas, not having attachment, not having desire, by practicing these, we should be able to overcome these bandhas, not by leaving them and going somewhere physically. Okay. So that is the reason why this shloka explains more about this sannyasam. So, so there are many stories to quote as an example. Many times people go leaving everything, thinking that they will, and they also understand, they also look at this parityagam. You have to do parityagam to attain siddhi. So they think parityajinchatam means to leave all their responsibilities and go. That is not how it is. Leaving our ragadveshas and the desires. That is the true meaning of this parityagam. Okay. 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 In this context, there is a small story that has been told in the Yoga Vasishtyam. It is about a lady called Chudala, and it is given in the Chudalopakhyanam. So here Chudala, she is a yogini and also the wife of a king. So, and both of them have this spiritual thinking. So both of them would sit and practice this yoga abhyasam together. They would discuss about any questions they have, clarify each other's doubts. So they were in perfect harmony in this aspect. But after a while, what happens is the king gets very busy in his royal duties. So every day they used to practice. Now the king is not able to practice as much as he did earlier. But since Chudala, she does not have those responsibilities, she was pursuing her practice, abhyasa, and she will obtain the yoga siddhi and the Jnana Margam. She's still there only. She's still the queen of that kingdom and she's performing her duties as a queen, but she has also entered the Jnana Margam. Now the king is very unhappy. Why? Because he very much wanted to enter that Jnana Margam, but because of his kingly duties, he was not able to do, and he sees that his wife is already progressing. So he gets this, he loses interest in all this. He's very keen on obtaining that Jnana Marga. So he leaves everything one night without even telling to his wife. He will go into a nearby forest and he will perform Ghora Tapas for like 18 years or something. But still he does not attain Siddhi. So in the meantime, this Chudala, who is a yogini, can see what is happening. So she knows what happened with her husband, that he went in search of this Jnana Marga and he has been performing this tapas. But she also knows that he cannot attain Siddhi because he went away with losing interest, not by overcoming these desires and bandhanas and all. So one has to willingly be able to overcome all this, not simply deserting the duties. So she wants to help him, but she originally, before they were married, she was not at that level of the king in the spiritual path. So she entered into that relationship as a more like a shishya. So now she cannot go and directly tell. The king also will not be able to accept. Because he might feel belittled with his wife, his own wife telling him. So she will know that. So she will take another form of a Muni Kumara, and she will be passing by that way, and she will simply stop by and ask, "What are you doing?" So the king also explains, because he sees that he's a Muni Kumara and he has that some kind of tejas. So he thinks, okay, this is a lightened soul. So let me share my desire with him. So he says, I am doing this tapas to attain siddhi. I want to enter the jnana marga. So what should I do? So she tells, you have to do sarvasanga parityagam. So then he says, of course, I've already done. I left my kingdom. I left my wife. I left my kids. I left everything back. Only here I have only this small, hut in which I am just taking shelter, and I have a small vastram. That is all I have. Okay, since you are asking me to do Sarvasanga Parityagam, I will leave this also, and he will burn the hut and even dispose of his clothes, whatever little he is wearing. So then he will ask, okay, so now what else is stopping me from obtaining the Siddhi, the Jnana Marga? Then Muni Kumara will again repeat the same thing, that you have to do Sarvasanga Parityagam. So then he will understand. He will think, okay, I already burnt the hut and the cloth, and what else is remaining? Oh, my Sharira is remaining. So I have to give up my Sharira also. So he will be getting ready to give up his Sharira. So then the Muni Kumara will stop and say, you are not understanding the word Sarvasanga Parityagam. It does not mean leaving out all your materialistic things. It is the ragadvesha that you have to leave. It is the the desire. Now you came here with a desire, but you left behind so many things. Out of all these emotions, you had some kind of emotions. You were averse towards your duties. That comes under ragadvesha, because you looked at your responsibilities as a hindrance to your spiritual path. But that is not how you enter the jnana marga. You have to overcome all these duties with doing them with utmost shraddha, and only then you will be able to enter the jnana margam. So then he understands, and he will come back, and later on, after he understands it, he will be able to, he will also know that it is his own wife who came to guide him, which he will take very positively, and he'll come back very happily, and he will accept all his duties, and he will wait for that time until all his responsibilities are over, so that he can continue with his abhyasa, yoga abhyasa, and then enter the jnana marga. So similarly, this kind of thinking is there among in general, among us, that many times we feel, right, we are sitting and doing something, and then some responsibility, some duty of ours is there. So we find it as a hindrance. Oh, I have to do all this, and it is stopping me from studying whatever we are studying and all that. So that feeling should not be there. As long as it is our responsibility, then we have to do it, because as much as we are studying this, or whatever result we get out of practicing this kind of abhyasa, the same kind of result we will get even doing our responsibilities, but we have to do it with ichcha, looking at it as seva to Paramatma. That we many times forget, and we think of such things as a hindrance to our progress in the spiritual path. but we have to, that is the only way we can overcome these ragadveshas and the kanksha, the desire. So only then, only such a person who practices it on a daily basis is called a sannyasi. So a sannyasi is not somebody who simply gets tired of his samsara bandhanas and just leaves them, abandons everybody and goes. That is not what it is. It is somebody who practices nirdvandva in the daily life and without kanksha, without any kind of akanksha, phalakanksha. So that is with this third shloka. So any questions so far in these four shlokas? Sorry, three shlokas that we covered.
మహోదయ ఇక్కడ థర్డ్ శ్లోకంలో సుఖం బంధాత్ ప్రముచ్యతే అన్నప్పుడు ఇది అపాదాన కారకమైంది బంధాత్.
అవును.
సెకండ్ శ్లోకంలో కర్మ సన్యాసాత్
karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. There a comparison is being made. So karma sannyasat karma yoga is better than or special or more special than the karma sannyasam. So there is a comparison. So we cannot take it as apadanam. It has to be panchami vibhakti is used in comparisons. That's all. There is a sutra, Paniniya Sutra, that says panchami vibhakti is used when comparisons are made between two things. We studied that in our Karaka class also. Panchami vibhakti is the Paniniya Sutra. Here vibhakti means you are separating them based on their qualities. Like Madhuraha Pataliputrakebhyaha Sukumarataraha. So compared to the people of the Pataliputra, people of Mathura are more Sukumara. Okay, such kind of comparison. Here also, compared to karma sannyasam, karma yoga is special, vishishyate. It is more better. So that comparison. Whereas here in this shloka, bandhat pramuchyate. Okay, nirdvandvaha bandhat pramuchyate. Having that quality of nirdvandvatvam means looking at kashtam and sukham in the same way. Sukham and dukkham. He who takes sukham and dukkham in the same way, that is called nirdvandvaha. So that nirdvandvatvam, that practicing nirdvandvatvam will free us from these bandhas very easily. Here there is no comparison. So apadanam. Why? Because there is a separation. You are being separated from the bandhas. You are being separated.
అవును, ఇక్కడైతే కరెక్ట్ ఉంది అపదానము. అయితే సన్యాసాత్ అది అపదానం కాదు. అయితే ఉపపద పంచమిలో కూడా రాదమ్మా.
Upapada panchami antaniki, there is no upapada there. There is no padam that is causing. That is why I said if you have paraha, purvaha, vina, if those words, because of those words, if we use panchami, then that is called panchami, upapada panchami. But here panchami vibhakte means when you are making this kind of classification, comparison, you are separating this from the other with comparison. So then if panchami vibhakti is used, it is not marked as upapada or apadana. It is simply panchami vibhakti because of that separation. Not separation. How do you say that? Comparison. You are categorizing them based on some quality. Astu. In Panchami, we have many things, many ways we can use Panchami vibhakti. Not all of them are apadana or upapada, but most of them follow in that category only. Very few follow only this. As far as I remember, only this is the only case where the Panchami vibhakti does not follow under apadana or upapada, because there is no upapada being used. We have
Am
to
Bhavati.
see this, Vishishyate or Sreshtaha. It is more like Sreshtaha only, right? So if that falls under that category, then again we can say it is a Upapada. I will check on that and see if Vishishyate will come under that category.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So any other questions? Yes.
ఇది తన్మే బ్రూహిలు చతుర్థి విభక్తి రావచ్చుగా. మీరు మేడం భగవద్గీత బ్రాంచ్ ట్రీ ఫార్మ్ చూసి చెప్తున్నారా?
భగవద్గీత
సంసాధనలో భగవద్గీత విశ్లేషణ చూసి చెప్తున్నారా? చతుర్థి రావచ్చు కదా.
చతుర్థి అదే డిస్కస్ చేసాము. సో basically what happens is, here two things are there that we need to consider. One, asala shlokamlo what word is given, in which vibhakti it is given. Here me is the shashti vibhakti ekavachana roopam of asmad shabda. So we have to mark it as a shashti sambandha only. But though it is given in shashti vibhakti, it is representing that it is being, you tell me. So the sense can be taken as a karma padam. The sense can also be taken as the prayojanam. Ante chaturthi vibhakti bhavitum arhati iti aham chintayami. Kintu let me look at it once more, because earlier Mahodaya made a point about using chaturthi vibhakti in that
అస్మద్కి తే చతుర్థి విభక్తి కూడా ఉంది భగిని.
మేనా
మే అస్మద్కి మే చతుర్థి ఉంది, మే షష్ఠి ఉంది, రెండు ఉన్నాయి. ఎక్కువగా మే షష్ఠి అని చెప్పేస్తాము. చతుర్థి కూడా ఉంది మే.
Chaturthi, correct. Chaturthi is there and Shashti is there. So we can mark it, we can mark it as Shashti Sambandha. If we take it as Chaturthi Vibhakti, then Prayojanam will come. It will be more of a Prayojana, because for the purpose of my knowledge. In that sense, we have to take.
Madam, I just wanted to tell one point. Whether you use Tanme or Tanmam, actually what Shloka Tanme only is there. Okay. To avoid the discussion or to limit our or to improve our knowledge, even if you make Tanmam Bruhi, Chandas wise Guru Laghu difference does not make whether you use Tanme or Tanmam. Guru Laghu difference, Me or Mam, it is only one akshara. Sa will become Guru only. So Guru Laghu difference does not make. So Chando difference does not make. For our understanding, you can always read it as Tanmam Bruhi.
Yes, that is a good suggestion, because many times the reason why the different forms are used is for the purpose of chandas. But like you said, both are Guru only. Both can be marked as Guru only. So chandas wise also there will not be any difference. But the thing is,
we are deviating from original. That's all.
For our understanding, we can take. But there is a reason why that poet has written it as May. Maharshi, there is a reason.
Okay.
So normally we do not change, but for our understanding, we can change. But if you want to look at May as Chaturthi Vibhakti of Asmad Shabda and how it means in that sentence, for the sake of my knowledge, in that sense, we can. In that sense, take and mark it as Chaturthi Vibhakti only. In the Pada Vishleshana, we can take it as Chaturthi of Asmad Shabda. If we take it as Shashti of Asmad Shabda, then we simply mark it as Shashti Sambandha. But I think since May is also Chaturthi of Asmad Shabda, we can take it as Chaturthi Vibhakti only and mark it as Prayojana.
Yes. Mama Jnanardham, Mama Avagahanardham, like that you can tell.
In Anvaya, in Tatparyam, we can write it as Mam Vadatu. Mam Vada.
Okay, madam.
Okay. So, Srinivasacharya Mahodaya, does that clear? No, Dwarkanath Reddy Mahodaya, does that clear your question?
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Okay. Astu. So Alivelu Bhagini, Shanti Mantra.
आं भगिनि सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम शांति शांति शांतिः धन्यवाद भगिनी नमस्कारः
धन्यवादः
सर्वेभ्यः
धन्यवादः
धन्यवादः नमस्कारः
धन्यवादः।